Huber, and I live in Brook Forest. And I've worked with a number of people to try to set up today's event. You can see that it's a homemade event, right? We're just doing the best with what we have. This is a true grassroots organization opportunity for us here in the village of Oak Brook. So you all are sitting or standing on Sportscore land that was originally purchased by Oak Brook residents in 1977. They voted to tax themselves to purchase this land from Paul Butler himself. The price was about $11 million, and in current dollars, that's about $60 million. But of course, the value of the land is a lot more than that. We all know that. It's 270 acres of green space, recreation space, including the golf course. Tennis is here, the bath is here on the left, and then the clubhouse is the thing in the middle. So the clubhouse is the and, right? So it's bath and tennis. The clubhouse is the and in between, right? All right. When the village purchased the Sportscore land, which is the entire 270 acre parcel, seller Paul Butler insisted that certain restrictive covenants be imposed on the 270 acre deed. The deed's restrictive covenants require that the land be used for sports, recreation, flood control, and other public uses. It's very specific. It's many pages long. If you want a copy of it, just let me know and I'll read it to you so you can use it as an insomniac treatment. All right. As many of you have experienced, village employees ran the clubhouse from its inception until 2003. And then since that time, various caterers have been pulled in to handle one-off events or occasionally to operate as a license at the clubhouse. And so a license works like this. It's like at O'Hare, right? When you go to O'Hare, which is owned by the city of Chicago, they give a license to Starbucks, right? So the city of Chicago owns the airport, but Starbucks gives you the coffee or sells the coffee. So that's really what a license is. But significantly, no caterer has ever been allowed to set up its actual business in our clubhouse, right? No other business has ever been allowed to set up a private business on our public land here. So that's the distinction of what is being proposed by our village management today. Okay, so you guys may ask yourself, why this is so boring, Ann. Why do I care about this? Why are these stupid signs all over the neighborhood? And I will tell you, it's because if you read from the Chicago Tribune in 2023, our village management has decided to, and I'll quote it here, redefine the business model. And that was in December 19th of 2023 by Greg Summers, who is our village manager. The idea is to maximize the cash intake from the Sportscore land, right? So we can get improvements, good things that you want, positive things. The climbing wall at the OBBT, for example, that's a good thing. Most people want that. It sounds like fun. The trouble with that idea is that if you go too far, then you violate the deed that was imposed on the village in 1977. Okay, and on April 8th, the board proposed this new 30-year deal with caterer Chic Chef. Now, Chic Chef is a caterer that's been around for 10 years, right? I'm sure they do good work. I don't know. But you can see their logos. These are their trucks. You can just see there's one there and there's one over there. You can, generally speaking, there are about 7 of them parked right here on our land. They apparently are running catering events in the tri-state area, including Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin. And they're running them, apparently from their website, it says from this location, from 800 Oak Brook Road. That's a problem because it violates the deed, okay? So that's why I'm making such a fuss about all of this online and at board meetings and et cetera. But I stand here today before you as a private citizen. I want you to know that I'm not a PAC or a political action committee. I'm not a candidate. I do not seek public office. I think this is a civic event. It's an opportunity for all of us to learn what is being proposed, because it will affect the future of this village long after all of us are dead and gone or sold and moved to Florida or to Scottsdale or wherever we're going to go. So this is a long-term question for the village of Oak Brook, and I think it's important we all know what the heck is being proposed. So you may ask yourself, how did I get these flyers or these things? You know, these are from your neighbors are doing this, right? I did a robocall, right? And I paid for that. It cost $261.20, okay? So just in case you wonder, it's not a stranger, it's me. I live at 12 Cambridge Drive in Oak Brook. So it's your neighbor who sent that out. Who paid for the documents in your hand? Other neighbors paid for that. Who paid for the water that you're welcome to enjoy because it's hot out here? I bought that stuff at Costco yesterday. So it's just people, okay? I just want you to know it's just people talking to you today. All right. So we are here today because we're concerned about the 30-year deal proposed between the village and Chic Chef. And I believe, after researching this at some length and cost to myself, that this deal puts the Sportscore land, the entire Sportscore land, at risk. And I want you to imagine if you're protecting a deed, right? It's sort of like this. If you've ever been to Europe, or you've even imagined what a medieval castle looks like, in the middle of the castle there's something called the keep, right? The keep that's the valuable stuff, right? And the keep is protected by stuff on the inside, right? Some walls and some poles that are sharpened that the people will run into, right? So that's one line of protection. But the real line of protection for a castle, right, in medieval Europe, is the big fat wall on the outside and the moat, right, that comes before that, right, and the big doors that go into that wall. I hope you understand the analogy I'm trying to get at. So with regard to the deed, the big protection, the most powerful protection that you have, all of us have, and that the village has, is the restrictive covenants. That's our security to keep this land available to us as residents, right? As originally intended when it was purchased by residents in 1977. So that's what I'm really concerned about. Okay, I can go into more of that if you want, but it's going to go kind of long. So just know that the guardians of this land is primarily the deed. Then you have like little smaller, less important things like zoning regulations and the county and legislative judgment. But you really want that strong wall to protect your keep. All right, if the village goes forward with the Chic Chef proposal, then the village is going to violate the covenant, and future development of this entire 270 acres could happen, because they may want a Dairy Queen because it's hot, so you'll have a Dairy Queen up there. So you just got to think about it that way. And in the past 50 years, village trustees and presidents have come and gone. We have two past presidents with us here today, and they've served our village well. There have been 15 presidents of the village of Oak Brook since its inception. 15. 1-5, right? None of them have violated the covenants of this deed. None of them. Because it's important, right? But if we go forward here with this change or any other major change of use of Sportscore land, the deed is certainly at risk. And future actors will surely try to get their business onto our land. So, okay. So with that introduction, we will have two presentations by two sitting village trustees. And some of you may say, why only two? Why don't we have everybody here? Isn't that the way it should go? Well, in the state of Illinois, we have something called the Open Meetings Act. People pronounce it OMA, like Open Meetings Act. And it requires that you can only have a certain number of trustees in one location discussing business issues. Okay.
I'm sorry, Suresh. You know what? Manzo filed an OMA violation.
So what we're dealing with here is the Open Meetings Act. So this is...
When you came in and left
it's a problem. We don't want to violate the law. It's a strange law. There are reasons for the law, but sometimes it gets distorted.